Welcome to Practically Tactical on Target, brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. Practically Tactical on Target is a show dedicated to sharing with you some of the freshest and best-tasting products or services in the firearms industry. Brewed fresh and grinded every week for you guys. New episodes drop every Wednesday, hopefully. Don't forget to listen to the Practically Tactical show here on the Firearms Radio Network as well. New episodes drop every Sunday at noon Central Standard Time and feature some of the most well-known figures in the firearms industry. For more information on Practically Tactical and on Target, please visit practacpodcast.com. On this episode, we're talking with Carl from LnLJ Java. Thanks for coming on, Carl.
Hey, happy to be here, brother.
Yeah. No, thanks for coming on. I really have to say shout out to Sandy at Offhand Gear. She was the one that pointed me towards you guys, and she says you do amazing stuff. Welcome to Practically Tactical on Target, brought to you by the Firearms Radio. Look at that. Total new move. I had the video up playing. Total new move on my part. But she was the one that pointed me you guys and all the awesome stuff you guys make. And she actually had a question for you. So we'll open the show with a question from her is, where are you going to be serving your coffee at SHOT Show? Because I'm sure everybody here that's listening is going to want to know.
Yeah, that's a great question, and thanks to Sandy for referring me. Love Sandy, she's great. Anybody that doesn't know about Offhand Gear, you got to check her out. She does great stuff for women shooters. So we are in the process right now of setting up a LnLJ Java cafe. So we're going to be setting that up with our friends over at Chase Tactical. We've got a room, and it's going to be come by, grab some coffee, throw some money in a donation cup so that we can send coffee to the troops, and then head down to the show. So we'll be posting that on all our social media and also sending it out on our newsletter. So we haven't got an actual location yet, but I should have that within a couple of days. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, where should people go to find you online, social media? Where are you guys at, and where should they find you?
Yeah, so we're at www.LnLJava.com, not A-N-D. If you type in A-N-D, then it'll go there anyway because we've got that URL as well. But we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're at LnLJ Java for Twitter and Instagram, yeah, that's where you can find us.
Okay, but obviously the main part is your website. People can order coffee there and do all sorts of things on your website.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well we'll start off here. So kind of before LnLJ Java, tell us about your history, man. What when you were little, did you grow up and want to sell coffee? Was that kind of a goal, or what were you like kind of growing up and before LnLJ Java?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna do the when you were a little bean thing, man. I was waiting for it.
I was gonna save it for in the middle of it there.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I blew it for you. Sorry, dude. No, so I'm an Army brat. I was raised in the military. My father was a Vietnam vet. My mother was a German national. He met her. I was born in Germany and raised all over the world. So I was, I grew up on military bases where my football coaches were airborne rangers, and my judo instructor was a Vietnam Green Beret. All my neighbors were Vietnam vets, and so when I was 17, I raised my right hand and joined the Army. We had 3 boys in the family. All 3 of us joined. My youngest brother is still in and about to retire. So I went in as a 17-year-old private. Subsequently won an ROTC scholarship. Went back to college at the University of Utah, and then went in as an officer. I was in 9th Infantry Division, 3rd Infantry Division, 2nd Armored Division, Special Operations Command Europe, among a bunch of other units. Did 9 years active and then 12 in the reserves before retiring about 8 years ago now. So I'm hanging out. I'm fueled on coffee, so that's what keeps me going.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If anyone is out there that's a true operator, we all know that you have to drink coffee in the morning. Otherwise, you can't be a true operator, correct? I mean,
that's right. Fuel for warriors. That's it. This is our Master Blaster mug, and it's 20 ounces of lock and load goodness in there. So
That's awesome. So yeah, let's move on here. So how? Oh, I'm just trying to connect the dots here of Army traveling,
yeah,
all this stuff to coffee.
yeah. So you know, I was. It's kind of funny. I drank so much bad coffee in the military. I mean, Desert Storm was a 100-hour war, and I probably slept about 3 or 4 hours here and there during that time, and we were just fueled by crappy coffee. And you know, I was in Central America during the 80s in places that have some of the best coffee in the world, and I was drinking shitty Army-issued coffee. So, you know, many times when I was deployed, I was, you know, living on coffee, and then my wife and I were stationed in Germany, and we'd go out to a cafe there, or we'd travel down to Italy on the weekends and have some really good coffee. And I just said, you know, this is ridiculous. We're drinking this crap when we could be drinking great coffee. So you know, as the time went by and as we were retired, I was sitting on. Sorry, my chair just collapsed there. I was sitting in the middle of the recession, sitting there with my wife and saying, you know, let's start a company. Let's get this going. Let's do something to give back to the troops. After I retired, I saw this next generation that was really needed the support of the older veterans. I mean, they're highly unemployed. They have a high rate of suicide. A lot of issues. Despite the country supporting them, they're dealing with a lot of stuff. So we wanted to do something that would give back. So we founded Lock and Load Java. We saw all these Coffee for Cause groups that were donating money for different causes, and we thought, hey, you know, for every bag we sell, we'll send a cup of coffee downrange to deployed troops. So that's what we do, and we then take a portion of profits and donate it to military charities as well.
Well, thank you very much for your service, and thank you very much for doing that. My sister is actually active Army right now. My brother has since got out, first Cav, and then I think she's in the 60. Is there a 63rd Quebec or something like that? She's a medical.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know I appreciate you guys doing that, and I appreciate you guys' service. And I'm sure if my brother was on, he would tell you that the coffee was the worst thing ever in Iraq. Just the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But let's move on to coffee here. So,
sure.
Tell us a little bit about the coffees you have, and then you know, most popular coffees, and you know, tell some, you know, I guess what makes your coffee different than, we'll say, you know, I'll pick the worst coffee in the world, Folgers coffee.
Yeah, sure. So we have great coffee. I mean, we're members of the Specialty Coffee Association. And that's what I think a lot of people buy our coffee. They think it's a novelty. It's like, hey, I want to support the troops, or that's cool, Lock and Load. You know, it's a tactical coffee. I'll order that. But once they order it, they realize that, you know, this is damn good coffee. And the reason is because we buy the highest quality beans from around the world. I mean, we're buying from Ethiopia to Costa Rica to Brazil to Papua New Guinea, and we've created a number of blends, and then we have some what's called single origin coffees that just come from one farm in one area, one coffee estate, that sort of thing. So our most popular coffees are Warrior Select. That's sort of a medium dark roast that is outstanding, and it's my favorite. It's the go-to coffee. We have our darkest coffee. A lot of people say, hey, I want your darkest. I want blacker than the devil's heart, you know, kind of deal. And that's double barrel black. So that is a very dark roast, kind of that Seattle taste to it. And then we have sort of an everyday drinking coffee that's delicious, is called Smooth Operator. That's also very popular. Our Kona blend, Kona coffees are great. This is a Kona blend called Charlie Don't Surf. And then we've got, for people that like flavored coffees, we have our Armory Select group of flavored coffees, vanilla nut, southern pecan, chocolate creme brulee, those ones. And then, again, our Task Force Zulu line is all of our single origin coffees. So you'll, for instance, get a Rwandan that is grown on a farm. It's a women's cooperative that is just fantastic coffee, really good. So we've got something for everybody.
I absolutely love the names of your coffee here.
Thanks.
Warrior Select, Double Barrel Black, Smooth Operator, Charlie Don't Surf. You maybe have to explain that one to me. I'm not grabbing the name on that.
So you might be a little young for that one. So if anybody who's seen the movie, and now I need to drink more coffee. So the movie from Vietnam. Jeez, now I'm totally blowing this.
It's not the Michael J. Fox one, right?
No. This is with Colonel Kilgore sitting on the beach, and he says, they say, "Sir, we can't surf. We can't surf that beach. It's hot." And he says,
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you reminded me. I'm feeling like I've got half-Alzheimer's. I can't remember half the shit half the time. So from Apocalypse Now, we just love that line. We love, that scene, and as we were thinking about naming a Kona blend and Island blend and the beach and all that, we thought of, hey, I love the smell of napalm in the morning, so we did Charlie Don't Surf.
That's awesome. You guys also have the Army Select Southern Pecan, like you talked about.
Yeah.
I do love pecan coffees.
Yeah, they're great.
And then you even offer something for the snipers that don't want to shake. You offer a Sniper's Choice decaf.
Yeah, that's right. So that was we were trying to think of a good decaf name, and so we came up with Sniper's Choice No Shakes Decaf.
That is awesome. So, and obviously, so people they can go on your website, they can buy this right here.
Yep.
You guys also have different packs as well, so if they want to try a variety of different ones, you guys have those, correct?
Yeah, that's right. We have sample packs that some people said, hey, you have so many coffees, and I don't really know what to order. I want to try it out. So we came up with sample packs. So if you buy these, you can get a number of different coffees and try them out. And one bag makes about a full 12-cup pot of coffee. So, and then we have, if you want to buy we call it our Coffee for Troops program. If you want to send some coffee to somebody who's deployed downrange, you can buy a troop package. We've got troop packages from $20, $50, $100 to $250. They're discounted down about 10 to 15%, and then we'll pay all the shipping to get it over there. So you can order that and then just put in who you want it sent to. And you can also choose random troops. Some people say, hey, I just want to fuel the boys and girls downrange. So they'll come in, they'll just buy it. I have to give a shout out to Miriam Lagar is one of our customers. She has probably spent a couple of $1,000s sending coffee to deployed troops downrange. She is just an amazing woman who, we love her. We talk to her on the phone all the time. She's like, I'm driving my monster truck this weekend. I'm just thinking about the boys downrange, and I want them to be safe, and I want them to be alert. I'm going to send them some more coffee. So she helps us. We send a ton downrange. We do a lot of matching. If you send a package to somebody who's deployed, it's guaranteed they're going to get a little extra in there from Lock and Load Java. So I've been there, I've done that, and there's nothing like great coffee when you're getting ready to roll outside the wire. So,
well, I got to give a shout out here to our buddy Resist the Tyranny, who was thankfully alive after the speech last night. He just made a fantastic comment that says, I'm not a coffee drinker, but this guy makes me want a cup. So
I love it.
and that's why I got him on here. But something I want to talk about too, because we get this question a lot, and obviously you're in the know here, you're in the connection. Is on a regular show we have a lot of people ask about, what charities can I go to, because there's some that don't exactly carry that great of a reputation in the firearms community, Second Amendment community. So being a guy, and I should also mention here, you guys do an absolute ton of work. On top of the coffee and all this you guys send, you guys do an absolute ton of work as well with different charities. But we have a lot of people ask, what charities can I go to help, and who should I support, or of those good charities that are freedom-loving charities. So can you help out some of our viewers here and listeners on podcast of pointing them in a direction of good charities?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are a lot of military charities to stay away from. So we do a lot of vetting before we donate any money to military charities. We've donated in the past to a number of really great charities. Our Military Kids, the Fallen Heroes Fund, the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, National Military Family, Semper Fi Fund, Homes for Our Troops. If you go to our website and you look at the homepage, the charities we support, you'll see them all listed. We're starting to focus in on a few charities. There's a new charity that we're doing work with that works with the whole family when folks come back, and they're called Project Sanctuary. They're based out of Colorado. And they take the family on a retreat. They have family counselors and the kids, and it's the whole family that serves when people are deployed. And healing those families when they come back is important. So they're doing great work there, and we're starting to work with a number of charities that do outdoor therapy. So whenever I deployed and I came back, and I used to call it re-entering the atmosphere. So you're coming back from a deployment and you're are you?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. For some reason I thought that I lost you for a second there. Can you see me now? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I was there all along. For some reason,
there.
I lost you. Sorry, dude. That's what happens when you're 53 with technology. You're like, is this computer working? Sorry. We're doing quite a bit now with outdoor therapy. When I would come back, you'd want to kind of reintegrate, and so for me it was. And you said you're getting ready to go deer hunting. I mean, it's like you go out in the woods and you exhale a little bit and you start to ground again and get there. And so we're working with a number of groups that are doing that as well. So.
No, on kind of a little side note here, the outdoor things seems to be a very good way to go. We had Rich Graham, former Navy SEAL, on the show, I think episode 36, and he supports a group like that as well. It might be the same one you mentioned, I can't remember, but it seems like that outdoor therapy is a good way to, if you're going to help somebody and you really want to work on getting people readjusted. Any company or any charity that does any outdoor stuff seems to be a pretty successful type of program.
They're doing really good stuff. We actually, I went along and we did a sweat lodge ceremony with the Navajo Nation, and they brought a bunch of combat vets together, and they do a welcoming back ceremony for their warriors that come back. And it was a really powerful event. A number of us went. It was actually funded through the military outdoor program of the Sierra Club of all charities, and it was fantastic. And the people running that are great Americans. Shout out to Stacy Barr and Josh. Those guys are doing good stuff. So those are all great charities, and we're going to start supporting them. We served coffee all weekend, and the vets all loved it and made some really good friends, and the Navajo Nation did great stuff for us. So a lot of healing went on that weekend.
Awesome. Well, So if we have any watchers or listeners that are going, hey, this is great, but I don't like coffee, we still need to mention, though, that we can still help them, because not only can they go buy some awesome apparel at LnLJ.com, they can also get some cocoa, right?
That's right. Yeah, we. So that's kind of a little bit of a funny story. What happened was a few years ago we were sponsors of, or one of the sponsors of the Armed Forces Bowl, and we went about a week after we inked the sponsorship deal. I found they announced the teams that were going to play, and one of the teams was a local team here in Utah, BYU. So I'm like, oh crap, half the people in the stadium aren't even going to be drinking coffee. So we got to come up with something. So we quickly sourced some coffee, out of Africa. And so we sourced coffee from cocoa from Guinea, or Ghana. And we have Ghanaian coffee or cocoa. I keep saying coffee. I've got coffee on the brain. We have Ghanaian cocoa that we have that's delicious. So we have two flavors of that. We call it our Red Thunder and our Green Thunder. Red Thunder is 100% natural, non-alkali, no artificial flavorings, no preservatives, really good stuff. A little bit of sugar in there, and that's it, other than cocoa. And then our Green Thunder adds a little bit of natural mint oil to it to give it a mint taste, and it's fantastic cocoa. So if you're not a coffee drinker and you like cocoa, that's a good way to go.
All right. And, of course, if they don't like either of these, they can still go to your website, click on Coffee for Our Troops at the top of the website, and they can at least send something good downrange to somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is awesome. And, again, I appreciate your service, and for everybody out there that has served or is serving, I appreciate it as well.
Thanks, brother.
We're gonna wrap up this episode here, but again, so Carl, where should they go find your website, social media? Point them where they go, and how do they sign up for your newsletter as well?
Yeah, so it's LnLJava.com, at LnLJava for Twitter and Instagram. And to sign up for our newsletter, you can do that either on our Facebook page or you can do it on our website. So, yeah, we'd love to. We spread the word. If you don't drink coffee, tell somebody who does about us. We grow one recommendation at a time. We're a small business, military and military spouse and veteran-owned business, and we're giving back. So.
Well, that's awesome. And again, I really appreciate everything you guys do. And again, I know you guys do an absolute ton of charities on top of what you already do just with the coffee. So again, man, thank you very much. I really appreciate it coming from a veterans family.
You bet. You bet. Thank you.
Yep. So again, thank you to Carl from LnLJ for joining us today. I really greatly appreciate it. For all of our listeners out there, if you know another awesome company like LnLJ that should be featured on Practically Tactical on Target, if so, email me at nick@firearmsradio.tv with your suggestions, and I would love to get them on. So until next time, guys, thanks for listening.